everyone, welcome. This is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is women and human resources training and development. Stay tuned with us. We will soon be back. Human resources training and development is key to the economy and to national and societal development. In fact, it is the strategy. No nation can be greater than the quality of its people. And there can be no thought of global competitiveness without continuous learning. How are we doing in this segment? There are many women involved in this sector. What are they saying? In this episode, you will get to hear and to see what the icons are saying about human resources training and development in our country. Stay tuned with us. I am Dr. Violet Arene. Dr. Ije Jinema, it's a real pleasure for me to have the opportunity to interview you today.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here.
You're one of the distinctive professionals we have in this area. I know that you're one of the very few effective psychometrists in this country, and you are a human resources management expert. In addition, you're a wonderful mother and a courageous widow.
Thank you.
What is the secret of your success?
Well, I think I derive my strength from God Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth. He's been my inspiration to date and has enabled me to achieve the little I've been able to do. As an individual, I've always believed in hard work, and I was brought up to believe in doing the right things. So I think that to that extent, doing the right things, I think that are sustainable. So that has helped me in my chosen career.
What do you consider the special contribution, the special role of human resources management and development, for accelerated development and especially for global competitiveness?
Yes, as you know, in any country or in any organization for that matter, what you have is human beings. At times we talk about organizational behavior, but there's no such thing as organizational behavior because it's the people really that matter. So to that extent, the people are a prime resource, even in Nigeria. The people we have, because they're the ones to make things happen.
Are your expectations in human resources development and management in Nigeria being met? How well are we doing?
Well, I would say that there's still a lot to be done. We are trying our own bit, but all hands have to be on deck. For instance, if we look at the lower skill areas, like development of artisans and all that, I would say that we are not doing well at all in Nigeria. Because you find out that we do not have craftspeople who are knowledgeable in what they're doing. There's a lot of that in those skills areas. So we need to get those level of people, technical people, to acquire the necessary skills, get the necessary certifications, so that the standards at which they can perform will be evident, And then in other areas, we are trying, but there's still a lot to be done. For instance, graduate level. In the private sector, so many organizations, it's now evident that there's need for human resource interventions, and they're doing that, trying to develop their people, sending them to the necessary training programs. For instance, many organizations now have what they call the management training scheme, or those kinds of training schemes, so that when they hire people, they put them through those things. Because you can't just come into an organization and you're expected to function fully being effective as a person, personal effectiveness programs are key. And beyond that, if you're going to manage another person, then you better be able to manage yourself, like time management and so on. And then beyond that, to higher level managerial skills. Like when we talk about situational leadership, for instance, you need to know how to manage different levels of people, how to delegate, and how to approach them depending on their level of maturity and readiness. So these are the sort of things that we teach people.
Talking about situational leadership, it just rang a bell with me. We are in the era of transformation in Nigeria. Does it require a special type of situational leadership, because this is transformation era, and a sort of a new approach to training and development of human resources?
You are correct. What we require now is a paradigm shift in Nigeria. A paradigm shift starting from attitudes. You know, training is all about attitude, knowledge, and skills. In terms of attitude, there's a lot of gap. We need to reorientate Nigerians. We need to change attitudes for them to be positive, because we've come to a level that people are so cynical about anything or everything. But we need to reorientate them, and so that they will have that sense of responsibility and also that confidence and reassurance that we can actually make things happen. And there's no other person to do it than ourselves. Some of the things people do are out of ignorance as well. When you get the attitude right, then you need the knowledge. You know, because we, you know, in leadership, it will depend on the situation, and that would now tell you what is applicable. You cannot manage a trainee the way you would manage someone who is quite experienced. So these are some of the issues.
Do you see a connectivity between high performance, which Nigeria so desires, and better human resources management and development?
Yes, there's a positive correlation between the two. And I must give credit to the president for introducing the performance contract thing, which had not been in Nigeria before. I think people are becoming more and more aware and discerning. They're asking for things. They want you to set targets. They want you to be measured against those targets. They want to know the key performance indicators, even for ministers. And that is the way to go. So there's a positive link, because you cannot just carry on day-to-day basis without having a strategy, without having a vision, and so on. You have to have a vision. We all need to buy into the vision of what the transformation is about.
Yes, yes. And do you see that anybody has a special demand on himself or herself to accelerate value from training, development, and management of people, so that we can achieve the objectives?
Yes. We all have a responsibility in our own little ways.
All of us?
All of us, collectively and individually. In terms of developing ourselves, you should not just wait for government. For those that are, for instance, unemployed and all that, they need to see what is it that they have passion for, what is it that they have ability for. If necessary, you can even be an intern, you can even volunteer, because some people complain these days that most times they say, the employers say they want experienced people. Why don't you volunteer? And by the time you know it, you've already acquired some experience in some areas. So this is the way to go.
There's something I would like to see. I don't know what you think about it. A synchronization of every input by all relevant segments, so that we can actually zero in on human resources management and development that is appropriate for the dictates of this era.
Yeah.
This synchronization, do you see it?
Yeah, the synchronization is all about shared stakeholder involvement.
Yes.
I mean, you have to involve all stakeholders. I mean, when you are doing something for instance, the education ministry, you have to involve the users of service, you have to involve the suppliers and everybody, so that the inputs, people come from various perspectives. But then when you look at the various perspectives, then you can take a stand And I also think one other point I want to make is that we as Nigerians, we should be confident in ourselves. It does not, we do not have to copy what others have done, because we are not at the same point in the developmental cycle. We would not say we want to abolish our colleges of technology. We should be original in thinking. The question is, what do we actually need, given our situation and special circumstances? That's the way I would like us to go.
Well, I think it's a professional challenge for everybody. You know, I think what you are saying is that everybody actually has an input.
Yeah, it's
adjusting or rotating collective responsibility.
Yes.
Thank you so much. What do you see as your own special contribution to the development, human resources development and management in Nigeria?
Well, in some ways, we've done our best, or I have done my best in my own little way. Number one thing is to set the pace in terms of doing the right things, like I told you. People know our firm, Leading Edge Consulting, that we are merit driven. You do not need to know anybody to get the job you have applied to, and so many other things. We try to deliver quality service, to our clients. And for instance, in the area of psychometrics, we actually pioneered, because psychometrics helps a lot, especially in executive selection, where objectivity comes in, because you have large pool, and then you need to be as objective as possible. So we pioneered the training of human resource managers in this area, and we've done a lot of joint ventures with our associates in from South Africa, from the UK, and so on.
With the whole idea of a quota system, are they buying into this meritocracy which you are driving?
Yeah, I think the private sector to a very large extent because the bottom line, if you get the wrong people, and then it shows that the performance. So
garbage in,
garbage out.
Yes.
So they've shown a lot of interest in trying to get the right people. And it's not just about intellect, it's not just about cognitive endowment, it's also about personality. Some people don't know that it's not every job that you need a first class to do. Some jobs, if you put first class, then you're recruiting the wrong person, because the job might be too boring for them and they may not actually perform. So I also want to seize this opportunity to talk about all these things about third class and pass. The psychometrics helps, because you don't know whether the third class student lost his father at the time of exam. Yes. So it's this thing that is the equator, if I may put it that way. It's the common denominator, because in our own testing, like aptitude testing, what we look at is basic reasoning. You don't even need to study before doing it, because it looks at your potential. Potential is key, because it's potential that can say how far you can go. Even from as a trainee, we could even notice that this guy can become even the CEO in future. And then the organization starts to prepare him or her by placing them in challenging positions and so on and so forth. And then there are other things, motivation. Yeah. You might have the ability, but you might not have the interest.
The level of motivation.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we have to take all that into consideration.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
Then I know there are many women in this area. What counsel do you have for women who are involved in this area to put what added value would you expect from women in this area?
If you talk about women, I would say that women are actually, would I say, lucky or privileged, in the sense that some of the qualities required to be a very good human resource person is inherent in women. For instance, the nurturing thing,
yes.
Because you have to have the patience to listen to staff when they come to you. Yes. You have to be patient in listening, in sifting whatever information. And then, women are multitasking naturally.
Yes.
So that gives them an edge, because there are so many little bits and pieces that you do as a human resource manager or director. So I think to that extent, women, it's a natural role.
Thank you so much. You're a real pro.
Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful contributions and enlightenment
Thank you.
in this area. I believe our viewers will catch one or two values from what we have done here.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us for the first time, this is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is Women and Human Resources Training and Development. As we know, training and development are key to the national economy and to societal and national progress. How are we doing? We have some ladies in the studio to discuss with us. Rita Dikedi, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Same here.
Dr. Akudo Anyanwu Ikemba, welcome.
It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. Rita, you are a businesswoman and a professional. You are in the hygiene business. You have achieved so much from what I can see. What is the secret of your success?
I'm very passionate about what I do, and I stick to the passion.
Dr. Akudo, what is the secret of your success?
I think the biggest attribute would be sticking to it until it works, so perseverance.
There are many opportunities, I believe, for the improvement in this segment to increase global competitiveness and all the added value for national development. What do you say, Rita?
Dr. Irene, the world is changing, the world is dynamic. There is growth everywhere. So as a nation, we must train and retrain.
Dr. Akudo, is that what you think too?
I absolutely agree. I think that as leaders, a lot of us don't come to our position of leadership with a blueprint. And we don't do that because we don't have adequate training. I also think that even while on the job, we're not refreshing ourselves and refreshing our perspectives enough. And how do we then lead others without adequate knowledge of the current realities in our various fields of work?
It's wonderful. Somebody said, Dr. Akudo, that when you stop learning, you stop having the right to lead.
Absolutely.
Can you comment on that?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think in my case as a leader of an organization, I found myself constantly going for training because of that. You have to stay ahead of the game. You have to stay ahead and continue placing yourself in the spot where you're receiving knowledge so you can pass that on to those who work for you, who work in your organization, so that they also are now empowered with the newest technologies and newest ideas as to how to go about their work. So I agree. To stop learning is to almost to die mentally.
And I want to challenge you with another statement. They said, if you think that training is expensive, you try ignorance. What do you say about that one?
Yes, ignorance. If I can imagine the business I'm into now, and if I don't train consistently, I can imagine what will happen to the downline, the people that look forward to, that are looking forward to the vision that I have for the organization. But like you know, I'm in the cleaning business, and I need to train a lot. I need to train myself. I need to be above those that I'm leading, because the blind cannot lead the blind.
Thank you. Yes, the blind cannot lead the blind.
Yes.
And of course, you train and you train them.
Yes. Yes.
I must really, come to the benefits of training, because both of you, even though you are training others, you have been trained. What did you gain, Dr. Akudo, by training?
I run a non-profit called Friends Africa, and what I have had to do is to go back to school to learn about non-profit leadership and management, and I do this on a regular basis. I get my training from Duke University in the US, and I found that there is nothing more inspirational and remotivating than surrounding yourself with people who are seeking the same kind of knowledge as yourself and going forward to get it zestfully from the best institutions of the world. And I've had the privilege of being able to do that, to go to Duke University, where they are known for non-profit. In fact, they have a segment of their business school is dedicated to NGO and non-profit management and leadership. So I found that kind of training has been incredible for my own professional development and for my ability to impact my staff positively.
Impact your staff positively.
That's right.
So it is important for you, the employer, to be trained too.
Yes.
This business of global competitiveness, there is a concept they call world class. Where are we? How can we get there, Dr. Akudo?
There is still a need to train the locally homegrown talents so that they have the skills and the capabilities to carry out the jobs that they're doing in various companies. The same thing applies to the public sector. You know, in countries like Singapore, the people with the highest marks in school end up in government. We need to have that kind of a program in Nigeria so that those who are regulators, those who are the administrators of government have the highest skill, the highest levels of training. So even the public sector needs training and retraining, like Rita has said.
Yes.
Not just the companies and the non-for-profit sector. We need training.
Yes. I agree with you.
I want to add to that I can still imagine that some of our leaders in the public sector still do not know how to use the computer.
They are intimidated by the computer.
They're intimidated by the computer. I think they still need to, they need to open up their minds to learning. Because there's a lot to be gained from using the new technologies that we have. Yes. They shouldn't limit themselves to just paper writing. We're getting to a stage where we're going to stop paper writing and everything is going to be done digitally.
Yes, you are right.
I agree with her. I mean, I think she's pointed out something that many have overlooked.
Yes.
And so the training that's needed sometimes, even at the highest levels of leadership, is very basic training.
It's very basic training.
Very basic.
Even the use of proper use of iPad.
Yes.
This iPad is full of goodies.
It is.
Right? No. Everybody should be trained on this,
Yes.
So that business can move on.
Exactly.
So it's not even that highfalutin type of training, even the basic ones.
Yes, I think if there's that training at the basic level happens, then you can layer on that the more sort of sophisticated training.
Yes.
And it's when that space, like she said, has opened up, when there's that unlocking, that you can now layer more sophisticated material. And then you have fewer people going for the international training only to go and do their shopping. They will actually be more interested in the classroom.
More interested in shopping than in the classroom.
Yes.
Do you think that employers should start making demand from trainees for application of what they learned into the work?
Certainly. There should be feedback.
There should be feedback.
What I have learned should impact my work.
There should be money and value for money.
Yes.
Invested in training. Is that what you think, Dr.
Absolutely. In fact, we have a meeting and training template in my organization that staff do fill out when they go for meetings. They have to actually show certain measures of direct impact into the organization.
Very good.
So that it's not a wasted time.
So it is not a wasted time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And women are involved in this segment. Is there anything in particular that women can bring to the table in human resources training and development? Dr. Akudo.
I think that women certainly women are teachers naturally, isn't it? I mean, women are nurturers. Yes. We have a natural instinct to teach and to train, whether it's people in our families, whether it's our children. And so, yes, there is a certain element. I think that women as teachers and trainers bring a certain perspective that could be overlooked by our brothers who are also training. But I also think as students, women are very keen to learn because of the value that would add beyond our businesses. Because we find ourselves as natural nurturers, we are also keen to learn things that we'll bring home to our families. So I think women have a strong role to play as beneficiaries as well as trainers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akudo.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful being on this program.
Thank you so much, Rita.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Well, you've had it all. In this segment of human resources training and development, we can all agree there is a lag. There's a lot of room and a lot of opportunities for improvement, and we must not miss them, because human resources training and development constitute the strategy for driving the economy and for societal and national development. So, thank you for watching. Next week, we'll be back.